Hello, everybody. My name's Nick. I'm one of the co-founders here at the Heroes Journal, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We are launching a Kickstarter campaign on February 16th. If you haven't heard yet, it is the Storia Magic Academy Journal. Bert will put it right here for me. And today we wanted to walk through the entire process of what it's like to back a project on Kickstarter. I know that we have a lot of Kickstarter veterans in our community, so this video might not be for you, but I also know that we might have some people that have never heard of Kickstarter, or maybe you've heard of it, but never backed a project. So I want to just make a quick walkthrough. I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be fun. We're going to find a project and back it and walk through the entire process. That way, when February 16th rolls around, there's no bumps in the road. So here we go. Let's go to Kickstarter.com. Show you the homepage here. So these are kind of curated for whatever your account, because I'm signed in here. So if you're signed in, this will probably be curated for you. Before this video, I found a project that I really wanted to back, so I'm going to selfishly do that one. So that's pulled up right here. So this is a project, it's called the Fellowship Enamel Pins. So they are selling Lord of the Rings themed enamel pins, which is perfectly right up my alley. So this is perfect. The other great thing about this campaign is it's still in progress. So you can see that they're not actually fully funded yet. They're asking for $7,000 to complete their goal. They are currently at $5,000 and they have 18 days to go. They also have 87 backers, which is really cool. So the way Kickstarter works, if you're not familiar with it, is that if you don't reach your funding goal, for instance, if they don't reach $7,000 on this Fellowship Enamel Pin campaign, then they don't get any money. They don't get any money to make this thing. And the people that, basically pre-ordered these enamel pins, they never get their enamel pins. So it's kind of a sad thing. So we're going to back this campaign today and help them out a little bit. But first, let's just take a quick look at their whole campaign. So you can see where they're based out of. It says Columbus, Ohio. The location is actually kind of important for a Kickstarter because it is going to play into the fulfillment process on the back end. So for instance, if you're on Kickstarter and you are, maybe you are wanting to back the Heroes Journal, but you live in a different country, it might take a little bit longer for shipping to get to you than it normally would. So again, just keep that in mind. It's not the exact same thing as buying something. In fact, Kickstarter has kind of their own term for this, and it says backing is not buying, which is true. The way that a campaign works is that you have people who pledge money, and then when the Kickstarter gets funded and the Kickstarter closes, that's when all the credit cards are charged and the process of making the product can kind of begin. So backing is not buying. Anyway, we'll scroll down here and we'll take a look at their story. So there's some text here kind of explaining what it's all about. You have some product photos here, all the different little characters, which is amazing. I'm super, super excited. This is my favorite thing ever. Look, they have different kinds of backings. So they have gold, silver, and black nickel, and they kind of show, I'll zoom in here so you can see the difference. So it looks like, you have the gold here, and then this is silver, and then this is the black metal, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe this is the gold finish. I don't know. Anyway, they have all these different assets. As you scroll down the page, this is actually really great. They already have the product made that you can already see, or maybe these are prototypes. But the cool thing is that they're already, you can see them in real life. A lot of the times campaigns will just have pictures of the thing. They won't even have a prototype. Another thing I wanted to showcase here on this campaign that they did a good job of is, gosh, these are so cool. Yeah, so the stretch goals. So stretch goals are a very specific thing to Kickstarter. It's kind of a cool way to have a very collaborative project with the backers and with the people who make the campaigns themselves. So the way stretch goals work, let's say that you have a campaign and you are asking for $7,000, just like they are here. Once you reach that $7,000 mark, your campaign is funded. That's really exciting. So now what? Do you start fulfilling the thing right away? Do you start shipping orders right away? Usually the answer is no. If you still have time in your campaign, that means you still have time to raise money, which means you can get more, in this case, enamel pins out into the world, or do whatever you want. So they created this thing called a stretch goal. Now, the way a stretch goal typically works is once a campaign reaches a certain threshold past its funding goal, that's the kind of the baseline. That's why it's called a stretch goal. Past the goal, you kind of have the ability to raise enough money to unlock a stretch goal. So you can see here they have 4 different stretch goal tiers. They haven't listed the number that they want to reach yet, which is a little confusing for my explanation of this. But my guess is if they are asking for $7,000, maybe at like $10,000, you unlock a backing card for all enamel pins. So that means that everyone who backed this campaign will get backing cards for their enamel pins if the campaign as a whole can reach $10,000. That's just an example of how a stretch goal works. So the reason that it's so exciting is that it gives people who have maybe already donated to the campaign or backed the campaign rather, it gives them incentive to share the campaign on their Facebook page, share it on their socials, share it with their friends, their family, to really get the word out and kind of do some marketing so that, you know, the project can kind of garner some more backing funding, and the whole collective backing group can achieve one of these stretch goals. So it's kind of a community way of like working towards a goal, which is kind of fun. So that's how stretch goals work. We are going to back this campaign. Let's take a look at the pledging amounts. So under support here on the right-hand column, the way Kickstarter works, there's like 2 columns. On the left is the campaign. So we'll scroll up back to the top just for simplicity's sake. There we go. And then we'll scroll down here. This is where you're going to look at the pledging amounts. So pretty much every Kickstarter has it's just pledge without a reward, which is kind of just a way to donate to a campaign. So maybe you have a friend or a family member who launches a Kickstarter campaign and you don't want their thing necessarily, but you just want to support what they're doing, because running a Kickstarter is genuinely super difficult. And I have respect for anyone who has run a Kickstarter campaign or even tried to. This is a good way for you to support them. So you can give however much you want here, kind of just as a donation to the campaign. But you don't get any like in this case, you would get no enamel pins. So we want enamel pins. So we're going to keep scrolling. So the first back is $5 and you get the Gollum pin. So that's just 1 pin. As you can see, there's 3 backers for this tier. Now I want more than just the Gollum pin. The cool thing is that it ships to anywhere in the world. You can see shipping is calculated after the pledge. So this is just kind of the list price, if you will. Shipping is typically added on after that. So as you see the pledge amounts, $5 or more, $8 or more, the shipping will come after the fact. So the next ring up is you get the Gimli pin. That's $8, but I want more than the Gimli pin. Frodo and Sam, okay, now we're getting somewhere. $10 for those. Ships anywhere in the world. There's 1 backer for that. Merry and Pippin, yeah, same thing, $10, no backers for that. Legolas, $10. Aragorn, $10. We're going to keep scrolling. We're going to get down to the bigger ones here. Okay, so Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. I want to get the whole fellowship. There's a whole bunch of pledge tiers here, and you can kind of see that they are listed by price. So as you scroll down the campaign, it will get kind of the higher ticket items will become more and more and more. And if you look closely right here, there's 2 backers. So that means 2 people in the world have already pledged for this tier, and they've elected that they want the Gimli and Legolas set, which is cool, but it's not what we want. We're going all the way there. This one's called They're Taking the Hobbits to Isengard, which is amazing. You get Gimli, Legolas, and Aragorn, which is really cool. But I want even more than that. I'm so in love with Lord of the Rings that I'm gonna go totally crazy. So here we go. So it looks like the biggest one that they have, where you kind of get everything that they offer, all the pins, is called the Fellowship, which makes sense. And that is, you know, if you're familiar with Lord of the Rings, you basically get the entire cast of characters as enamel pins. Then as you kind of, and there's 33 backers for that. So that's their most popular, pledge level, which is really great. And it makes a lot of sense because that's kind of the name of their campaign. But then as you scroll down, you can actually see that you can get 2 of those. So you get everything twice for $115 or more. There's 2 backers for that. Then you can get it 3 times. So it just kind of goes up more and more and more. They had an early bird special, but it's all gone. So if you scroll to the very, very bottom of the campaign pledges, you will see all of the tiers that are already kind of maxed out. So sometimes campaigns will make an early bird special. People will come in, they will fill it up really quick, and then the campaign will be off to a really good start. And but then it'll be maxed out. So I think what we're gonna do today is just get the whole fellowship. We're gonna pledge $60 to this campaign. So we can get all 10 enamel pins. And then if the campaign hits any of these stretch goals that we mentioned earlier, it sounds like I'll also get those too, which is pretty exciting. So as you can see here, this is the total amount. So once I clicked into it, it's listed at $60 here. There's a $5 shipping charge for the United States. So then the total is $65. So we're going to continue. Now the interesting thing to pay attention to, remember, backing is not buying. So even upon checkout, it won't even say buy or purchase. It'll say pledge. So you're not even getting charged yet. You're basically just telling this campaign owner, hey, I have promised to pay you $65 once this thing gets fully funded. And I hope it does. So hopefully Bert's going to blur out my credit card information. I'm going to pledge $65 to this campaign. We'll click it there. And then a little bit of confetti for me. Look at that. That's nice. So yeah, so then as you can see, I was the 88th backer, which is pretty cool. They are about $2,000 away from their goal with, I think, 18 days to go. So there's a good chance that this thing gets funded and I will get my enamel pins. Now, one thing to look into that I don't think I mentioned, and maybe we can edit this in later. So when you're looking at the pledge amounts, an important thing to look at is the estimated delivery time. So whenever you're scrolling through any Kickstarter campaign, you will see an estimated delivery time. So that's important because it's not like buying a product from like Amazon or something like that. It's not going to show up in 2 days. There is an estimated shipping time because it takes time to produce the thing once you have the capital to do so. So you have to give the creators time to get it ready to be shipped and to show up, in the way that it's supposed to show up. So as you can see, the estimated delivery time, which is, about the time that I'll get this, sometimes it's later. It's actually usually later. It's usually not earlier. The estimated delivery time is April. So that's April of this year. So that's, 5 months away, or so from where we are now. Less than 5 months. What month is it? Anyway, it's not tomorrow is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be a little bit of time. So you have to give these people time to make their thing and to send it to you. So it's important to not back something and then be, tapping your foot, waiting impatiently for it to show up in a couple weeks, because it won't. It'll be a little bit of time. So that's important to keep in mind. Remember, you're supporting a project, you're supporting a small creator, and I'm sure that they're extremely thankful for it. And they would also be thankful for some patience as they make your order just as special as you made them feel. Anyway, that's how Kickstarter works. Wanted to just do a quick run through as to what it's like. And I can't wait to get my pins. I really hope that campaign gets funded because I want them. But that's how it all works. So we are launching the Astoria Magic Academy on February 16th, 2021. More information can be found in the description. Make sure and download Magic Month. It's 32 days of magical side quests celebrating the Astoria Magic Academy journal that we are launching on Kickstarter. And make sure and back our thing when the time comes. Appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.